Yes. Good morning. Good morning. A pleasant good morning to our many listeners in Nima County, whatever you are, in the 9 electoral districts, 17 administrative districts, 13 educational districts. I'd like to say good morning to all of our citizens. Good morning to the marketeers. Good morning to the teachers. Good morning to the doctors and nurses. Good morning to the Jones security apparatus. Good morning to the Ganta Money Changer. Good morning to all of the guys there around the Jestna Bar and Restaurant built. Good morning to Mr. Gonkati Degba. Mr. Degba is there in the Peace Avenue community. Good morning to Frank and brother DMXC CPB, the Kasawa Estate community. Good morning, Daniel Dan. And good morning to all of our listeners that are following us through our Facebook page, The Gentleman Agreement. Share the show. Share the link of the show. Invite someone to this morning presentation of the program Maggie's Morning Drive. Let me say good morning to our people rated in district number 1. Good morning to our people in district number 2. Those of you around the Ga region, Ga Zuli, Ga Wanamo, Ga Wepa, the Gata village there in Ga. I'd like to say good morning to all of you. Good morning to our people in district number 3, the Campley Belt. Good morning to all of you. District number 4, Tua River. I'd like to say good morning to all of you, all the citizens. Good morning. Good morning to our people in district number 5, Boo Yao. Good morning to our people in district number 6. That's the Tapeta Belt. Good morning to our people in district number 7, the Sakipia region. District number 8, those of you there in Bana region, Bana Wenten. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to our people right there in Quain Township. I guess you all are doing pretty well. Welcome this morning to the morning presentation of Maggie's Morning Drive. Good morning to our people in District number 9. I'd like to say good morning to all of you. Guess you are doing pretty well. Couple of issues gonna be discussed here this morning pertaining the educational system in Liberia, Nima County as well. Around 7 o'clock, we'll bring you our news update as usual. The executive secretary of Registrar Board of Nursing, the midwifery, urging the government to invest in health worker or in health workforce. We want to bring you more details on that. EPA shut down Liberia Chinese mining company, seize equipment over alleged illegal operation, issue ultimatum to others in the country. By 7:15 this morning, we will have a group of students here with us to discuss issues pertaining the Nima County Student Union and that of some educational malpractices that are taking place in the county. So good morning to all of you. Good morning to our people in Bon County. Good morning to our people in Grand Jide, Lofa County. We have our listeners there in Gangrota. Good morning to you, Mr. Samuel Supu. Good morning to you, Bolu Johnson. All of you there in Lofa County, always following Maggie's FM. Good morning to our people right in Bon County. Always following. I like to say good morning to all of you. So we take our break as usual with our partners AML Liberia. We take our break. When we come back, definitely we go strictly in depth to bring you the stories here this morning. Let's get this break from Asalameta, Liberia.
Go, you are thinking about Aslamita Liberia, NSO?
Yes, so say, my brother. This company that I've been working with our people in government for 20 years. That is what we already know. For the good things they are doing.
Drink some cold water and then listen to me. 1. Aslamita na do it again, yeah, my sister. On Tuesday, Aslamita broke ground for a construction of 28-kilometer road from Kakata Peloton community straight to the Firestone Golf Club house near Habe. The community people in Kakata say the road for a long time, and they asked Aslamita to help fix it, and the company agreed. As we are speaking now, one Liberian company from right in MAGKIE County is fixing that road, which will cost Aslamita 527,000 American money. The people say thank you to Aslamita. Up to today's date, the company has employed more than 7,000 Liberians and created many jobs through different contractors. When the new mineral development agreement passed, few Aslamita say plenty job will waste wasa.
But wait small now. Let me also rub my mouth inside the name of some of the good things this friendly company Aslamita is doing.
Okay, Oko, please go ahead.
Look, Aslamita is giving farming tools, empowering our community groups with big contracts, giving helping hand to 3 counties for sport, and the company is always standing with us, Grigba, when it comes to our community development activities.
Look, this is why I am begging those who are to pass this company mineral development agreement to pass it quick for more than 2,000 new jobs to come for us to enjoy our lives. Yoli. ArcelorMittal Liberia, strengthening Liberia, safeguarding our future. Let's protect and pass the Mineral Development Agreement flow for more jobs to come. Yeah.
A message from
God's
ArcelorMittal
calculation.
Liberia.
I say God's calculation.
I hear you talking about God's calculation. What are you talking about?
My man, you really beyond time. Oh. You not hear about God's calculation medicine store? Yeah? God's calculation medicine store. Like the #1 medicine store in Glenlue community. Because all their medicine are up to date and very affordable.
Tell me something.
At God's calculation medicine store, we sell all kinds of pain tablets, gas tablets, and syrups. Omeprazole for ulcer or sore in people's stomach. Antibiotics of all kinds to chase infection from your body. We also sell vitamin or appetizer to help you eat well. We sell malaria tablets and syrups for big people and children. We also have bottled mineral water, and we sell cold acid plastic mineral water. God's calculation medicine store is recognized, certified, and qualified by the requisite authority. So, Dana Sokana Babati medicine store. Besides that, we are customers friendly, affordable, and reliable.
Let all my kids they wanting me for. All of my Kenya give it to God. They do you like.
Let me also tell you about God's calculation t-shirt, where you can get the magical taste of our delicious and well-prepared fried egg with bread, spaghetti, and beans. You can also do away with our hot cup milk tea, lamb tea, Lipton tea, coffee, and so much more. At God's Calculation Medicine Store and Business Center, you can do your mobile money transaction. Save your small thing through our daily susu or every day. Then all there, we charge phones and all chargeable electrical appliances.
I say God's calculation medicine store and business center that really the #1 in Glenlue community, yeah. But what place I can find them now?
God's Calculation Medicine Store and Business Center, located right at the intersection of the road going to YMCA campus and People Street, opposite Mr. Henry Port, all people resident before reaching Glenlue Sunday Market. But to make long matter short, just tell a number and call the proprietor and chief operator, Mr. Sheris Yene, on 0880-601-047 and 0775-035-672. God's Calculation Medicine Store in Glenlue community is truly the #1.
You can see. All the good God do for me, oh. Papa, your blessing to plant me.
And so, folks, welcome back. Welcome after that short break from our partners AML Liberia and that of the Girls Calculation Medicine Store there in the Glenlue community. So if you need yourself quality drugs, if you're around the Glenlue community, just get at the Girls Calculation Medicine Store. Definitely, you meet up with the CEO, Sherry Yene. Sherry is undertaking a very huge project in District number 8. Sherry is constructing a clinic in that region for his people. Let me applaud you and your family, Mr. Sherry Yene. Good morning to Mr. Amos Yene. Once a general, always a general. Good morning, welcome to the show. Good morning, Mr. Bob Yegesi Yene there in the Toys Yard community. I guess you're doing pretty well. So, folks, a couple of issues here this morning. Shortly by 7:15, we're going to usher in our guest. That's the Nema County Student Union, NISU. Going to be here this morning discussing issues of importance pertaining to the growth and development of this country, particularly Nema County. The efforts made by NISU since their newly leaderships were inducted into office. We're going to get more on that. But let me just it is and get to Front Page Africa here this morning. They one says EPA shutdowns Liberia Chinese mining company seize equipment over alleged illegal operations issues ultimatum to others. The Environmental Protection Agency, Liberia Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) has shut down and seized the equipment of a Liberia Chinese mining company over alleged illegal operations and gave 7 days ultimatums to numbers of others, including a 4 Chinese-owned companies called Investments, is co-owned by Gil Frank, a Chinese national commander known as Barry. The original Minister Gil has a triple reputations in Liberia mining sector. In July 2024, was accused by the Liberian government of running an electric mining network that defrauded the government over US 29 that's US 29 million, according to Front Page Africa report quoting the Inspector General of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. So folks, this is from Front Page Africa, but the closure of other mining companies in the country that are mining illegally. We have a lot of companies, particularly coming from the angle of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, over environmental pollutions. We have series of companies in this country that are mining illegally. I don't know if the Ministry of Mines and Energy always doing checkups on these companies that are operating in our country. I don't know. On the other hand, if they have been given something and not to check on them, because as we speak, every go places like Lofa, you'll see these small companies around the Lofa River, around the Simpo Beyond, mining illegally. So I wonder how those people got into this country. Where are documents to prove that yes, the government of Liberia is in the know of their operations? These are things. If the government of Liberia is in the know of these people operating in the country, because if we don't, we have generations to come. That's why our people will always say future leaders. We need to prepare our future leaders. Set up a well and guarantee society in time to come to lead this country. If you have a future leader and you are not in any way helping them to become more equipped, that in time to come, they're going to be veterans, leaders in the country, then you are not doing absolutely fine for your country. Because if your country will be good, or if your country will improve, it depends on the citizens that are in the country. If your country will improve, it ought bow down to the citizens that are in the country. Because if the citizens that are in the country don't focus on development, what they do is to just maybe get the ass and go ahead moving about, then what becomes of the people who you refer to as future leader? So we hope that this decision taken by EPA will guarantee our natural resources in the country in collaborations with the Ministry of Mines and Energy. We have a lot of companies that are operating illegally and damaging our soil, causing a whole lot of pollutions, for the citizens where they are not benefiting. They are no beneficiaries of what they are doing. Go places like Lofa County. I've been there. You have a lot of money companies digging the soil, causing flood in these very forests. But the citizens in that region are not benefiting. Nothing. Not just Lofa County alone. Go to places like Bapolu County. You will notice that there is a huge number of companies that are not registered through the Liberia governments that are operating. But who to talk to? There's the problem. Who to talk to? We have 8 minutes up to 7 o'clock. And by 7 o'clock, we will usher in our news team to bring you the news update here this morning on Maggie's FM. So those of you that are following, I'd like to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are following us from and which destination you are following us from. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for joining the broadcast. Share the link of the show so that the next man can follow this presentation. And all of the comments here this morning going to be read on the program times for our text messages section. So those of you that are following, keep sending your wise words and text messages through 088-157-1100, 088-157-1100, better still 0775-9460-21, 0775-9460-21. So folks, like I was saying, these are issues that continues to happen because there's not the first time to have in our country companies that are money illegally. Even not just money, but there are companies in Liberia that are even loggings, smuggling wood out of this country illegally on the expense of an individual who just gave them the mountain of authority and leaving the country in total dilemma. Yeah. We have some Chinese company. That is why I was like asking the government through the Ministry of Mines and Energy and other partners to help at least every year, before the beginning of every year, you can do your check and balance of companies that are operating within the country. That will also put you on your guard. People who want to mine illegally won't be able, except you have been bribed. Let me say this. Because if every year you do your check and balance and know those companies that are operating in the country will help you. Keep sending your comment through 088-157-1100, 088-157-1100, bears to 775-9460-21. Here this morning, if you are following us through our Facebook page, Maggie's Foundation, you can send your comment through the comment section. It's going to be read here this morning. Because this our country needs to be rescued. One of the oldest republic in Africa, with the same old problems. You cannot have, every time you're having malaria, then you don't know how to solve malaria. So we want for our government to help in these processes. Like what the Ministry of Health is doing, checking up health facilities that are qualified to operate, checking up health facility which doctors are not qualified to operate, will help them in the nearby future unflawed people, doctors or nurses that just came to the discourse on behalf of I can do the work. There are many. There are many of them. Let our government work for their people. That's why in some of these mining areas, our citizens don't have safe drinking water because the pollutions of waters are all over the place. The creeks around, they are all polluted. How do you expect them, or how do you expect people in that region to get a very good health from themselves? Some of them are farmers. If they are sick, they struggle before going to hospitals or clinic because they don't have. And with the numbers of increase of illegal mining company, I do think that it's going to hinder the workings of governments to come in the future. It's going to hinder the activities of future leaders because these resources that have been transported illegally to their country, which going to definitely be helping their society economically, educationally, infrastructurally. It's going to help them while our people sit back here with nothing. No good healthcare, no good educational system, qualified teachers. So how do you expect your people to live? How do you really expect them to live? Because if your people don't... folks, sorry for that breaking transmission. If your people don't have good health services, they won't be able to work like civil servant in supporting their country. Okay, so folks, shortly we usher in our guest by 7:15, but we have just a meeting up to 7 o'clock, and we're going to take our news update here this morning. So this break.
From our news update this morning, the For Life Zoe Vocational Training Institute has successfully graduated a group of armed forces of Liberia, the AFL personnel who completed 3 months of hands-on training in technical fields including solar technology, CCTV systems, plumbing, electricity, biodigester installation, solar panel, maintenance, driving, and computer literacy. The milestone follows a national initiative launched by For Life Zoe's CEO Francis Vanny 3 months ago, which awarded over 1,000 scholarships to various government institutions. One of the 150 were successfully allocated to the AFL to support skills development among service members. The training program is aimed at For Life Zoe's broader effort to help close Liberia's skills gap and contribute to national development by offering practical employment orientation education. The executive secretary and registrar of the Liberian Board of Nursing and Midwife, the LBMN, Cecilia Flumo, has strongly condemned what she described as the long-standing stereotypes surrounding nurses in Liberia. She emphasized that nurses should no longer be seen as an auxiliary staff but also nation builders, economic contributors, and front-line defenders for public health. Delivering her keynote address at this year's International Nurses Day celebration, held under the global theme Our Nurses, Our Future, the economic power of care, Flumo warned that chronic underdevelopment in the nurses' profession, rising from inadequate infrastructure and poor working conditions to stagnant career growth and insufficient pay is weakening Liberia's national healthcare system. Flumo at the same time emphasized and criticized the tendency of health sector leadership to downplay or ignore nurses' concerns, particularly regarding the lack of essential supplies and unsafe working conditions. The National Public Health Institute of Liberia has confirmed 4 active cases of Mpox in Liberia, with infection intensified in Montserrado, 2 cases, MAGKIE 1 and Sano County 1. The confirmation has prompted intensified surveillance and public health response in the affected regions. Speaking at a press conference in Pinsville on Sunday, NFIL Director General Dr. Dubakris Yan called for calm and cooperation, assuring the public that the institution remains under control. Dr. Yan emphasized that health teams are actively engaged in contact tracing, case monitoring, and community awareness to curb further spread. He urged citizens to remain vigilant, report symptoms early, and adhere to preventive measures such as frequent hand washing and avoiding close contact with infected individuals. Montserrado, MAGKIE, and Sano have been designated priority areas, with health teams mobilized to enhance detection, testing, and education efforts. Of the 78 confirmed Mpox cases so far, 77 patients have recovered and no deaths have been reported. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, the MGCSP, in collaboration with key land ministries and international partners, has launched a major initiative aimed at promoting gender equality, reducing gender-based violence, and increasing access to education and economic opportunities for women and girls in 6 climate vulnerable counties across Liberia. The launch began with a 1-day orientation workshop in Monrovia aimed at scrutinizing stakeholders in Montserrado County about the Liberian Women Empowerment Project, the LWEP, which is expected to benefit approximately 267,200 people in 498 communities, including 36,000 individuals who will receive livelihood grants. The MGSP is the lead implementing agency supported by the Ministries of Agriculture, Health, Education, Finance, and Internal Affairs. The project is being executed by a consortium of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, led by Plan International, Liberian Organization, and other organization consortiums. Members include the Action Aid Liberia, the Catholic Relief Services, the Media Liberia, the Keep Liberia, Foundation for Community Initiatives, the FCR, Defense for Children International, the DCR, the VRAMO, and Racing Voices. Speaking at the opening of the orientation workshop, Madam Elizabeth Bar Johnson, Executive Director of Action Aid Liberia, hailed the project as a transformative step toward disseminating equality and empowering communities. She called on traditional leaders, educators, youth groups, religious institutions, and other key tenure. He renewed plans to ensure that every church within Ganta and its environs an election committee and others to strengthen the community's administrative and spiritual framework. Additionally, the interim president plans fast and prayer sessions along with the appointment of financial controllers to oversee the community's finances, ensuring sound stewardship and openness in all financial dealings. Pastor Faya's leadership marks a new chapter of the Ganta Christian community with a renewed focus on spiritual unity, organizational effectiveness, and inclusive participation from churches across the region. And that's the news update this morning on the program MAGKIE Morning Draft. It's now back to Patrick for the continuation of MAGKIE Morning Draft.
For the best in Christian broadcasting, this is MAGKIE's FM 90.5 megahertz.
And so, folks, welcome back. Welcome back after that short break here this morning. Shortly we will usher in the Nema County Students Union NISU. They're going to be here discussing a couple of issues pertaining to their organization and that of some academic malpractices that is ongoing in the county and other part of the country. They are young leaders. You see, these are things that we embrace. That's what we always tell our leaders, people who are far ahead of us, to equip the one you call the future leaders. If you have a group of young men that know their left from their right, it tells you that Liberia will have a changed society through the generations that are coming up. So we will leave it just as it is and get to our next development here this morning. After that, we try to usher in our guests here this morning with the time 11 minutes down south 7 o'clock. Those of you that are following us through our Facebook page, please share the live. Invite someone to sit alongside with you as we all discuss Mama Liberia. So let's get to our decks and bring you our next development here this morning. Pastor Othello P. Faya has been appointed as the interim president of the Ganta Christian community, pleading to lead with a vision centered on unity, transparency, and spiritual revealed. Speaking through our microphone, Pastor Faya emphasized fostering unity among churches in Ganta and its surrounding areas will be a top priority during his terms. Here is Mr. Fire with the Press.
Welcome to MAGKIE FM and TV. My name is Zika Fule. Just call your name.
Okay, my name is Pastor Telopi Fire.
So, Pastor Fire, you are the senior pastor of this church, and we're told you just took on the new road as the interim president for the Ganta Christian community.
Yes.
How true is the information?
Yes, it is true. Living Water called for this meeting, and we've been in it for like 1-2 days. Yes, and then we went to an election.
How does it feel for you accepting such a role as the president for the Ganta Christian community?
Well, for me, it's not really bad because I wanted to run to be a chairman, the chairman proper for the Ganta Christian community the first time, but I didn't run again because somebody came and talked with me and said, "Oh, please let me go," and we let him to go. And then so this time I decided again to go, but then some of my friends also are encouraging me, say, "No, we beg you, please let us go." So I decided to wait. But then in the meeting there, because our present chairman, which is Reverend Tongsin Yomi, ended their cycle. So I believe one way or the other he wants to stay wrong to be chairman proper. But then in that process he can remain in chair and then he run. So we decided to have an interim chairman, and so that we can be able to prepare the ground for those who want to run. So I decided to accept it so that at least I can be able to help to prepare the ground for those who will run.
Is it that the friends that are telling you to step aside and give chance to other people to contest? Is it that they don't want you to become the legitimate leader for the Christian community?
No, not that. The first time I was a little bit busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some little engagement. So one of our father, who is Reverend Patrick Petty, came to me and said, "Oh, my son, I want to run." So I couldn't reject him. So I said, "Okay, but no problem, you can go ahead, I will step aside." So I stepped aside, but he was not successful. And they laid Lakwa down, and Tongsin Yomi, Reverend Tongsin Yomi was able to succeed. And so this time around, I decided again, but then I have some close friends who came and said, "We beg you, please allow us so that we can go." So I decided, no problem, because there are time for everything. Yes.
So what is your vision towards the Christian community in Ganta taking on this new role as the interim president?
Well, my vision is to see that all churches in Ganta and its surrounding come together, and not only coming together, but to work in great love and unity, and do things and push one another agenda, and to help one another, strengthen one another churches. And also I want to see that we have more than one John services, because one John service cannot serve us because the churches are many. And just imagine if you take 12 churches, you still have more other churches. So sometimes it will take you 3, 4, 5 years and they have not reached to your place. You just feel that the Christian community have rejected you, but it's because of the number.
Do you currently have joint service in Ganta?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah, we can have joint service, but only one joint service.
And you hope to expand it to how many?
Expand it to at least 3 or 4 different joint service in different communities.
So I'm taking over as a interim president of the Ganta Christian community. So what have been the feedback of the Christian community in Ganta?
Oh, people have been very excited, very much excited. People keep calling me and giving me some idea of what to do, how to do it, days, and commenting me. People are really excited about that.
Talking about unity to bring the entire church in Ghana under one canopy is a very huge task. You're talking about unity. What's the strategy? By what means you will be able to gather the entire churches together?
Well, the first thing we want to do is to set up some committee. We want to organize some committee, people who will have that chance to do different work. For example, we want to set up an election committee, and we also want to set up a prayer committee, because one of the things that we were discussing in that place is we want to have a prayer. So we want to have a very wonderful time of prayer.
So we want to have a very wonderful time of prayer. Pastor Othello P. Fire, there with our microphone over the weekend. So folks, we will get this break, how Africa get up a messed up education system, by Professor Peter Lebomba. They get this break and try to usher in our guests here this morning. Those of you that are following, keep sharing the link of the show. Place a comment too as well. Those of you that are following through the radio, keep sending your wise words and text messages through 088-157-1100, 088-157-1100, bells to 775-9460-21. This break.
When we regained our independence, or even before, we were told that our names were not good. So that when you are Christianized and you are Pipim and you went for baptism and you renounced the devil with all his works, they also said you have to be John. Because in their scheme of things, it appears that the heavens only recognize John, not Pipim. We were told that all the education we had acquired meant nothing. So that if you are eloquent in Ga or in Chui, you are not intelligent. You are only intelligent in English. You can only be intelligent in French, in Portuguese. We now know that that is nonsense. And you know, when that great Nigerian musician in the 1980s, fella Nicola Pokuti, said, "Teacher, don't teach me nonsense." He meant it. He was reminding us that we must examine our education system. You know, when the British came here and they were establishing schools across Africa, and then when they were establishing Achimota, which is famous for producing great Ghanaians, the intention was to produce young men and women who would support the colonial empire. The intention was the same in Uganda with Budo's King's College.
Oh yes, Professor Peter Lumumba. How did Africa cut up with a messed up educational system? These are things that we are about to discuss here this morning. So as you can see on our stream, those of you that are following us, keep sharing the live broadcast here this morning. Send your comment, and those of you through the radio, keep sending your wise words and comment through 088-157-1100, 088-157-1100, bells to 775-9460-21. We have a decent gentleman in our studio, very young, energetic leaders. This is what we are talking about, future leader. When we talk about future leader, you have to support a future leader now. So, let's the cross over right now to our studio guest so that they can properly introduce themselves. So, gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, Patrick, good morning and thank you for the invitation. My name is Emmanuel Mesa, the District 1 coordinator for the NIMA Students Union, and I'm glad to be here.
Good morning, listeners, and good morning to you, Patrick. I'm Yawase George Solomon Davidson Jr., the Deputy Speaker for Lingsu, and I'm very, very happy for you extending an invitation to sit on your show.
I mean, George, you small man, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, that's my position.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, those of you that just joined the discussion, we're going to be here this morning with series of issues pertaining the Nema County Students Union, and that of, like I said, there are some educational malpractices that are ongoing, and we're going to be discussing more about it this morning. So, gentlemen, how is the organization moving?
Yeah, we thank God. You know, things are on course, even though there are challenges, but we thank God. Things are on course.
Okay, so let's look at the activities of recent from the organization. Are there been any activities maybe scheduled for the organization?
Yeah, the recent activities I hosted was in Sanikole, where we have a retreat. It is the first time in the history of Lingsu for us to have a retreat out of Kanto, even for us to conduct a retreat, and that retreat will climax with quizzing and that debate competition among high schools in Sanikole.
So,
we awarded the winner and the best quizzer, the best answerer, the best debater, and other stuff.
what prompted this retreat? Particularly, people might say, "Oh, these are just young people; they don't have the knowledge of leadership." What really prompted the retreat, particularly in the county capital?
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the reasons was we wanted to do a decentralization policy in our organization by extending it to our nearby city, meaning the county capital, right? So most people, meaning when we enter in Senegal, most people was not knowing what they call Limba County Student Union Lingsu. And the past leader would be very sad to see this. They were only doing this organization as a Kanto-based organization, while the organization carry the entire Nimba County, logo or name. So we decided through the leadership of our president Ali Mensa to do our decentralization and then extend it to the other cities in nearby time as time comes.
So that's part is decentralization. Let's look at the leadership as a whole through decentralization processes that you did mention about. Do you have maybe students part of the leadership committee, like for Camplay, Gaplay, then places like Sekipi, Tapeta as well?
Yeah. We have our coordinator from Senegal by our name, Angie or Koto. She's the president for the Levi H. Baptist High School. She's the president there. And then we also have our coordinator from the office of the speaker, right? We have our coordinator in Camplay by our name Katrin Tunga. And then we also have the coordinator from Yekepa, coordinator from Sanikole. So all over across Nimba, we have coordinator there.
Okay, so we will try to leave a bit issues pertaining to the organization before concluding. I think we will talk more about it. There are rising concerns in the educational system in the country as a whole. NEMA not being an exception, particularly being a Nemalians and also or high key member of one of the strong educational movement in the county, which is the NEMA County Students Union. What have you observed educationally when it comes to education malpractices around?
thank you, Patrick. Thank you for the questions. I listened to you ask my colleague, concerning our retreat. You see, in Nimba, one of the reasons why you see we have the retreat was to bring students from across the county. Lisu's scope of work in the county is all over the county where there's high school, to see how best we can identify these challenges faced by our students and to come up with a resolution, that will be presented to the Ministry of Education in the county, the CEO. Most of our students, you observe that doing the resolution, somebody they came up with, they say their lack of, that their schools lacking some facilities, especially during the sciences. There are no equipped laboratories that they will go and do research. Yeah, so like the high school students are writing WAS, right? The 12th grade are writing WAS. So you have practical, and in science courses like biology and chemistry, so forth. So for the fact that this practical will come and still our student faces, the lack of equipped library, public library, or in our schools, it will hinder that experience, and what they're supposed to be knowledgeable about, they won't be. Yeah.
Then, just to add on to my comment, like I have a friend in Ghana. She attended in Ghana. Parents took her from here because of the educational system, like in Liberia. And I asked her to do her own analysis. What she told me is far different than what we do in Liberia, right? For instance, you send a child to school, let's just take elementary division, right? And then our child, the number one thing, the child go to school in the morning, and maybe for the public school, they may leave the house by 6 or 7, let's just say 7:30, and then they go on campus. Maybe 12 o'clock they coming back. And we, the parents as whole, for them to ask the child, oh, what is the issue? You are coming back late. Or soon, right? You are coming back soon. They will not do so. And they will just sit down supinely and then say, come, let's sit. Tomorrow you'll go to school. Although the government has her own part to play in it, the government has 50% of the situation that we're fighting now. And then the parents themselves have another 50%. So it is 50-50. If the government can set up a very serious, policy on our education system, like for instance, taking all the daycare school from behind the house and then sending it, out of the city. Maybe you take like or Bright Beginning, for example, Bright Beginning, Christian Education, from now, Royal Christian Academy, all the daycare school. And then you take them from in the community, you send them maybe around Nengbai, Highway then, or you send them behind Ban, or around Ban, Terrain, right? That child will not be brave. The only time that they will leave from that campus when the school bus is getting ready to come back home. So you will see every child will be serious. If you go on campus, you will really be focused, and then you will not be able to walk. Maybe a child living in Glenwood and then you attending Ban. What is the time frame you use for you to walk from Ban to come to go in Glenwood to your house while you in class? So that's the number one thing. If we want for our education system to be best, we take the school from behind the house and then send it to a separate location. Then number two, we need to equip our library. Right? Now, most of the schools, the daycare school, high school, junior high school, don't have library. Like for the school I graduated from, I think it's only this year they open a minimum library. John Wesley Pearson High School, a whole government school in this district. as big as John Wesley PSC is, no library, no science lab, no computer lab, you know, what will equip that child for the child to do their best in national exam? While other schools, other countries are going ahead, they are using second class educational material or first class. And then we are still using, I think, 4th or 5th class.
Okay, so I don't you think as well students themselves, particularly the society in which we find ourselves, I always say this: the spoiled educational society. Don't you think is one of the things hindering the educational systems where we will have our leaders? We have government schools, we have private schools, we have faith-based schools. But if you are carefully doing your check and balance of institutions that maybe have some of these equipped library or laboratory in the country, you'll notice that even the faith-based schools or the private school will be far ahead of government schools.
Sure.
Through the notice of our government leaders, my child cannot attend a government school, and despite their children are now attending, and they abandon these educational institutions just for let's just say just for their self-benefit, where money are going to be allocated for these fundings at this very facility. These finances have been pocketed. What is your thought as well on these things, if you want to dialogue with these leaders as well?
All right, thank you so much for that question. One of the main things, if you are not going to, just like in Liberia, the country that we found ourselves in, it is so particular to say this, because a leader, you will not be working in government, national central government using taxpayer money to pay you, and then you are saying that your child cannot attend a government school. And guess what? Most of those how you call them? Those government workers, half of them, they graduated from government school, but they don't have the mindset to redevelop that identical institution where they were in, and then they were complaining that this institution is not up to standard, right? So back to your question, the first thing that they need to do, that the central government need to do, is all government officials, like for instance the DO, Minister of Education, Minister of whatever ministry or agency like you working in, your child or children attend government school. Because if we do that, or if the central government does that, everybody will be serious to focus on the government institution. Everything, every mechanism will be put into place for everyone will be like watchdog on the government institution, because right now they don't care. Maybe I may be CEO for Nimba County, for example, and then I have a little cash. My child will be in PSC, and then I see PSC going to a dying knee, and then for me to do the necessary thing or the needful thing for PSC to come back, I'll be forced to do it because of the sake of my child. But my child will not be in Medoli or Senior result that above. Then you see me for me to do the needful thing for PSC. It will be impossible.
Okay, so recently pertaining these particular issues of educational malpractices, there have been a recent update from the county education officer and the Ministry of Education, Republic of Liberia, where there's a school in Ganta. Particularly, the school did not send their children for WAS. The school also refuses to give more to their children, particularly those classes that are supposed to sit for a public text. And that's why you being the spokesperson for the Nema County Students Union. What are your take, or have you guys gone to caucus to set up some strategy to meet up with the government or other regulatory authority?
I will get chance to my district coordinator, because he supervises this district, to answer that question. Then I will come in to Alo.
Patrick, you know, it is sad and heartbreaking that an administration or institution will request money from, high school students third graders and fail to register them for WAS, why their friends are writing the national exam. You know, that is our work, right? As leaders of the union within the county, we saw the information. That institution you're talking about is
the King's Chapel.
The King's Chapel, you know, school. We saw the information on the page of the school president. You know, we saw the information on the page of the school president. He didn't contact us, highlighting what happened. So immediately we went on the campus. But guess what? We went on the campus, and then while trying to have, you know, clear details from the school presidents and the leadership before reaching out to the administrators, the principal for the school, Thompson Yomi Jr., once he noticed our presence on the campus, he decided to leave. You understand? So we sent the director of military and defense and the SE, you know, to tell him that we were having conversation with the students leadership to reach out to him to get clear details. So he said we are not relevant, you know, he can't talk to us, and he left. So I told my guys, I said, don't bother. So right away we call the CEO,
Mr. Francis
yeah,
Legge.
Mr. Francis Legge. We call the CEO and complain the issue to him, and then he said to us he was in Sector PA. When he come back, he will get into the process. You know, he will get involved. So it didn't stop there. We call other medias, you know, professionals. We call our KFMP, Raswa, Radio Guambay, you know, Imaya Wole. So they were there. So the CEO called DO2 Benga, and then he came. You know, when he came, he presence on the campus when, you know, the children, they were disturbing, so really decided to carry life. Yeah, so people were following, and then the DO2 were there. He tried to have, you know, to resolve the issue, and then schedule a meeting on Monday. But the CEO came back before Monday. Yeah, he came back that very evening, and then Saturday morning he called for meeting. Yeah, he called for meeting, requesting that all the 8 students that the principal Thompson Yomi Jr. ate that money should bring along in the meeting of one parent each, or guardians. You know, should bring one parent or guardian along. So he also said that the union should be in a meeting. You know, so we went there, and then the CEO, we had a meeting, and he agreed. Thompson Yomi Jr. agreed that he ate the children money and refused to register them for WAS. You understand? Yeah. So the CEO, without any further delay, he requested that after the investigation, the men should be put to jail, and they will reform the children money. They will see how best next academic they will register them for WAS, and the school should be brought down from high school to elementary.
So how do you look at the status of these children that makes the WAS or that are currently not sitting for this public test?
Alright.
And what do you make of their educational future? Because one may say opportunity does not wait for men. What becomes if they could have maybe take on this WAS, and maybe next year they got an opportunity where they having organization that wanting students that they graduated from school, and some of them could have been opportune to travel, get a quality education. But currently they are so sad in the sense that their parents, they are struggling parents, even themselves don't know what to do.
Right now,
Yeah, the speaker will respond to that.
right now, we feel that things and then I know they have been traumatized because you'll notice that almost the very day that other schools were issuing their students clearance and other materials for wax, while you go on your campus and then you are yet to receive yours, you can feel very discouraged, right? We feel their pains. And then the next thing I will tell them, this has already happened, and it is so unfortunate that you sit for almost, let's just say, 9 to 10 months in class, and while you and your other comrade, your other colleagues that are in the same class in different institutions, they will not be in uniform at that time now. You understand? While you still be in uniform, it is a shame and disgrace to you your very self while your friends are out of school. So what we just tell them is to be patient and to just take courage. What God cannot do does not exist. Maybe it is the will of God, and for them to take second chance.
So, shortly we gonna be letting you guys out of the studio, but let's look at this. Let's try to open our lines while we continue the discussion. So, folks, those of you that are following, you can call us on 0881 5700. That's 0881 1100. 0881 Better still, 0775 9460 21. 0775 9460 21. Those of you that are following us through our Facebook page, our WhatsApp number is 776 45 39 78, 0776 45 39 78. And our numbers to put you through here this morning: 0881 1100, 0881 1100. Better still, 0775 9460 21. So gentlemen, we are almost nearing the closure of school's academic this particular semester, and then look at the advantage of this NISU. Does NISU have the upper hand in providing opportunities for its members or schools that it is controlling in the county? If so, who are individual can you point out, despite having a very good leadership in the past, like for Abigail Freeman, who served as I think she served as NISU president back then, and she also have an upper hand right now working on the advisory board of the UN Women. How many times have you engaged your past leaders in helping this organization?
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. NISU, since the inauguration last year, is 6 months now. We have been reaching out to the county administration, but unfortunately, each time we go to meet the president that is heading the caucus, and the superintendent, she will deny access from seeing her, and then there are other comrades within the office that work alone, like in administration. They know the functions of NISU. Some of them, they were students, and they can help in the process. Yes, but NISU, even though we one of the role is one of our responsibilities is to seek opportunity for our students and social justice and educational welfare, but we have been providing opportunities, but not setting people that say, oh, once you in NISU, these are people that you work directly with. No, or the recently tier 1 2, he currently work on the board of trustees. He's on the board of trustees at the Oxford University in the States. He's the executive director the scholarly path, where he will provide insights on how to apply for international scholarship, and what are those, and then also identifying those relevant institutions that provide these opportunities. Yeah, so we've been doing our best.
Okay, so you've been doing your possible best, and like we were discussing about schools, what do you make of teachers that are in these various classes who have not been trained? I mean, trained. We have teachers that are trained for educational purpose, and we have some of them who went to the classes because I want to farm on daily bread. What is your quest to the government when it comes to these teachers in the classroom?
Alright, one thing that we've been fighting against is to fight against those teachers that they are not capable, right?
Mhm.
It is sad to use this word, but I think it is the best word for me to use in this case, right? So, it's for the vetting process to go on both in the private and the government school, right? If you do the vetting of all documents of teachers, you will know which type of teachers for you to place in a special direction. Maybe
Let's see how best to get this person right. Continue, Josh. Continue.
Alright. So you will not see someone who is out of high school like my very self, and then you give that person subject like mathematics to teach for example. Those other people, they are very good, educationally, but they need a document. Maybe they don't have C, but they only have high school certificate of my very self. They give them mathematics of English to teach from 9th grade maybe to 11th grade, or from 9th grade to 7th grade. Why you are not too sure in a class? There's a spirit for you to conduct a class, right? You're not just woke up because you have the brain and then you now have the teaching skill. It's another different skill. So if you do not have that skill, you cannot be placed into a classroom. Not because of the economy is high, you're looking for your daily bread, and then you want to fight to damage this damaged system that we are trying to face. It won't be good. So the government, the Ministry of Education need to fight against this. All private school and government school, all volunteers, and then employ teachers at the level of the Ministry of Education, government school, and then the private school. They should do correct vetting of the teachers, and then know the competency of each of the teachers. That would be the best if you do that, and then you be conducting training maybe 2 times every academic year, for at least it's 2 times. I think it will improve the system.
Okay, so we have 10 minutes, let's just say 9 minutes up to 8 o'clock here this morning. Shortly, we will be drawing curtains onto the presentation. But keep your calls coming through 088-157-1100, 088-157-1100, bells to 775-9460-21, 0775-9460-21. So we gonna give both of you 3 minutes each to conclude here this morning. So we begin with Mr. Mesa.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Bill Patrick TV, for the invitation. I'm very glad to be, in the studio today. Just to let people know, this is my very first time being here, and I want to, appreciate and applaud the CEO, the Ministry of Education within the county, the county education officer, and the entire DOs, the entire county education, people for through the CEO, for always responding to our calls, for always listening to the voices of our students and helping to resolve some of these issues. Our students. One thing, let me be clear. Linsu, since we took over, we did not take over with certain amount of budget. So there are few things we lacking. That we come to logistics, even motorbike set up to this time, we didn't get it. So it will limit our scope of work. That we have to reach out to what's all part of Nima that have high school within the county to see how best it can be a joint, a collective, and inclusive, work. But lack of logistics, we haven't been able to reach out to all of our constituents. But howbeit, we keep pushing to see how best that can be resolved. But to all of the high schools, let me say this, to all of the high school students, Linsu is in a county, is here for you. Linsu is here for you. So if you have issues that are confronting you, whether you are a high school leader, all part of NIMA that our high school falls with honor our jurisdictions. So if you have issues confronting you, you can reach out to Linsu, and then we will get involved. Because I can say without fear that it is only this leadership that it is only through the leadership that many persons are going to know the role of Linsu within the country and the county. Yeah. So I want to say also to all principals within all the high schools in Nimba that they should see how best to avoid anything that will hinder the students, moving forward or their education. They should start to resist, to avoid anything that will hinder the students. Once they get to us, we will intervene. Yes, so thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you for the invite.
Okay, so George,
Yeah.
that conclude.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation extended to our organization. And let me say this is our first year in office, and we were some area were compromising issue, right? But I'll be bold to tell school administrators, school proprietors, and proprietors that next academic year will be in every school, daycare school, high school, junior high, elementary, for us to prove ourselves and then to correct the mistakes that have been made before. And this, just to let you know, this issue that happened in King Institute, the same thing happened in Duogoton the other time I went for tour in Duogoton. And it got to know that students there, they only go to school 3 times in a week. And that issue was communicated to the CEO office, and action was taken, and they start their normal activities. So we will be all over through the 13 educational district in Nimba, starting from next academic year. And thanks to the MAGKIE Foundation family, thanks to our Nimba people for them, working with a little bit, but we do not have support. All of these things that we do in Padre, we take our own finances and then put some things together. So we will left for the public to help us with logistics, that will be able to go in Pakistan, will be able to go in Logwatu, all over Nimba for us to do our work.
So up to now, the organization is yet to get office space as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So this is a call to our people, our counties, hierarchies. we should not just look at politics alone. Let's look at these future leaders that are trying to put things in place. We will channel this view, particularly the call for NEMA Students Union to have an office space and to have all the logistics material to their disposal that they can be able to tour this county to put things in place.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, we do not have an office space, we do not have logistics. For us to do the work is very, very hard, but we can try our best. So, lonely, our president, thanks to Mr. Ali Mensah, thanks to our Secretary General Amos Dolo, and my boss, Marshall Lewe, every one of them. I think they are following the show, and thanks to you for having us again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's the Nema County Student Union, NISU. That have been here with us this morning discussing issues of importance. Many thanks to all of you that are following us through our Facebook page. We will read all of your comments. But this break, let's get this break. When we come back, we're gonna read all of your comments.
What am I served with? Nescafe from Nestle in Switzerland. There is not a single coffee bush in Switzerland. When I sit at the breakfast table, cocoa from Nestle, and yet Ghana is the largest producer of cocoa. What happened? We were disrupted. Pippin was right. When we want to build our roads, we have engineers, most of whom today, if you do not address them as engineers so and so, they rise up, ready to beat you up. But yet, when we are building our highway from Accra through to Winneba, through to Cape Coast, through to La Côte d'Ivoire, it is the Chinese that I see. Which calls into question, what type of engineering are we teaching? We are producing doctors, and they are good, some of them. But yet, when those of us who have the ability are sick, unless they do not know, they want to be airlifted to Dubai and to Germany. They have no faith in our medical system. When we are sick during COVID, all Africa is crying to America, oh, give us Moderna, give us Pfizer, to the Russians, give us Sputnik. We are crying. Yet we have universities with professors in medicine.
So, folks, let me say many thanks to all of you. Let's try to read your comments through our Facebook page here this morning. Those of you that are following us, let's read all of your comments before letting you go. They won't say, I'm watching. This is Samuel C. Gate, always following Maggie's FM. Many thanks to you, Samuel C. Gate. Our manager Zika Vruda is following from the LPRC community. And good morning to Ambassador Maxine Nekawon Pake. He says, I'm following from a Valley community resident. Good morning to the CEO, Pastor Colinas Mator, also following us. Good morning. It says, good morning, big brother. I'm closely following you here at my Deke main resident, that's Samuel L. Nuan. there this morning, and also my colleague Boxon Boy Trump Kuti Jr. Is also following us. The ones I'm following, Lincoln P. Nyapwa. So, folks, many thanks to all of you. Many thanks to the management for always allowing me the time to bring you information that is unfolding. At this junction, I would like to draw curtains onto the presentation of the program Maggie's Morning Drive. The pleasure is yours. Do join us tomorrow, same time, same station, as we bring you quality, accurate, factual, balanced information. Here it is. We are here from Monday through Friday. So, before letting you go, let me say good morning to this county superintendent, the president of the county, our mother, Madam Kou Mempe Gono. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mr. Daniel Zekbe, the county inspector. And good morning to all of you there in Sanikole. Good morning to the county health team. Good morning to the county engineer, the engineering board. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to all of our businessmen and women. Good morning to Mr. Prince Howard King Azara. Good morning to Alfonso Gledor, Beer Garden. Good morning to Justina Bar and Restaurant. That's Justina Yomi. Good morning to you. So, folks, have yourself a pleasant Tuesday. Bye-bye, I'm out.